On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We have so much kind of going on in the world. And again, like I was saying yesterday, there's so much focus on certain specific components of it and being hypercritical critical of it. But at the same time, you really need to step back and look at all the things that are happening right now that Trump is basically doing. That's, in my opinion, one of the key things. One is taking down the deep state. We're definitely going after those apparatuses. And oddly, those seem to be very much helping China, or were. The deep state, I should say. We're shutting down a lot of the places where China used to get their fuel, their oil. China doesn't have oil. We have made it very difficult for them. And strong chance at some point we'll take over Carg Island. Scott Bessent was talking about it. I don't have it actually queued up. I've got enough to talk about. But it is an interesting time where we're already speculating that we might take control of Iran's Carg Island, which is interesting. At least probably to protect it. It'll be an interesting go, is all I can say. We're stopping China from the Venezuela from being involved with South America. We've kicked them out of the Panama Canal. We have pulled our carrier group away from China, or from Taiwan, basically. It's one of our amphibious groups that we moved. That's where that group left from. I would assume we still have other stuff over there in the area, but it weakens us a wee bit on that side, and maybe that's meant to entice China into getting their problem finished once and for all. Again, how that plays out, we'll see, but Trump sees it, he knows, and the deep state had a plan they were going to do, and he's turned the ship towards the torpedo and sped everything up. So we're seeing that play out before our eyes. It's kind of groovy, actually. I've got a lot to get into. Let's rock and roll. Trump did attend the dignified transfer of the 6 service members that were killed in the Iraq crash, that KC-135 refueling incident. So I guess we finally got those people back. I, for some reason, thought that was the one that J.D. Vance went to, but maybe that was some other service members. Needless to say, it's needs the time. Also, very, very sad news. Chuck Norris passed away today. Chuck Norris passed away. Like, of all the Chuck Norris jokes, you would have thought the death was probably the one that would never get him, you know? Chuck Norris doesn't die. Death gets Chuck Norris. Well, I guess death did finally get Chuck Norris, apparently. There was someone that posted a cool meme that showed the fight scene. I figure it was Enter the Dragon, I think it was, when Bruce Lee fought Chuck Norris. Dude, he was a hairy bastard back then, by the way. But they fought each other. And Chuck Norris was a legit karate guy. He was a very good karate guy, in fact. He's a very good karate guy. They won, I think he was undefeated, or he was just extraordinarily good. He was very, very talented. All that said, they said that they were going to have their rematch finally. So that'll be interesting if anything like that happened. Iran, again, sad news, but this just kind of also points out who they are. This 19-year-old wrestler probably was protesting or doing something. Whatever the case was, they hung him publicly amongst some other people. But this was like a guy, a 19-year-old, like, super good wrestler, or wrestler, as some of you guys call it. This was just funny, and I wanted to share it for 2 reasons. One, it's funny because the Prime Minister, when she sees the picture of the auto pin, she just kind of laughs, and her reaction's pretty priceless. But so I've never been to the White House, and I would assume there's a bunch of you like me that haven't been there. And we always saw this wall from the perspective of looking right at the pictures, but have never, and I always figured there had to be a picture for every president. I'm sure many of you thought that. You're like, wow, this must be like a weirdly long room or something. And it's like, well, this is it. I guess they're all outdoors too, it looks like. So it just gave some perspective to that. So for those of you like me that have never been there.
It's not easy.
Thank you for inviting me to the White House today.
Thank you.
Dude, Asian people are so cool. I don't know what it is. Their facial expressions, the little peace thing, it just cracks me up. There's just something about them, just genuine. Anyway, I know. This is also awesome. I love this. So I don't know if any of you guys had seen the story, and I'm curious how many of you believe it, and you might not, you could still be provided proof. A lot of people, just confirmation bias is a funny thing. So how many of you saw the video of the dude driving, and everyone said that was Epstein? How many of you guys saw that, and how many of you guys actually were like, that's Epstein, man. Epstein's driving around. And how many of you guys are going to have a really hard time with the fact that that's not Epstein?
Hey everybody, this is Palm Beach Pete.
and my video went viral because some dude randomly filmed me while I was driving on I-95, unbeknownst to me. And the next thing I know, I'm a viral sensation. I had my phone down for about 4 hours, and I didn't know my phone was blowing up with all these comments from that video. So I got a lot of traction. It's pretty crazy. Thanks.
So you're not Jeffrey Epstein?
I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete.
Again, he looks like him, but that's apparently Palm Beach Pete. That's kind of funny. What do we got here? Minnesota audit. This is insane. And I think this is probably happening everywhere. 2, we pass laws, legislation does, right? And then we assume that those are being fulfilled. And legal things are funny, and whether these loopholes are put in there intentionally, and maybe it's possible. Maybe that's even part of it. I think this is how they write the laws so they can take advantage of them. But during a Minnesota audit, investigators told auditors that they believed they lacked authority to investigate allegations of kickbacks in the autism program, and probably any other program maybe, but they didn't think they had the authority to look into kickbacks. And the reasoning is because when they passed the fraud law, the fraud definition set in 1995 failed to specifically include kickbacks as a word. Those are payments or anything of value to induce referral to providers of federally funded health care, a practice that is illegal under federal law, the report noted. Now, their normal jurisdiction is fraud, theft, abuse, or error. Yet somehow they didn't think kickbacks were part of that. So they never looked into it. Kickbacks are illegal to begin with, like they said. This is the people running for us, the people that we vote for, they're not good people. That's why the thumbnail's what it is. It's like we're going to have to thin some of these people out, and we're going to find out who they are. That's what's up. We're, as the people, going to find out which Congress members stay and how many of you are going to go. Trump and us, man, we'll all push for it. Whatever they come out and say, whoever we primary against you, we will push hard, and we will force and get voters in those areas out, and we will push you out of office. Nearly half of immigrant households in the U.S. are currently on welfare, based off of public data. But 47% of households headed by immigrants on one or more forms of welfare right now. Again, when you immigrate to this country, you have to have a sponsor. The sponsor assumes responsibility for you financially. If for some reason you need help, you're not allowed to suck off the teat, if you will. I think it's for a period of time, though. I'm sure after a period of time, you can probably get on food stamps and other crap. Save America Act. Donald Trump truthed this out. The Save America Act must be passed by the Senate. There is nothing that is more important for the USA. Voter ID, proof of citizenship, etc. Get it done and watch all the good things happen, or watch all the good things that will happen. President Trump. Save Act co-conspirator, Rand Paul. So I guess he was one of the people that voted for it, which surprises me. But he's one of the first ones to start to waffle on the fact that, well, we got to get some Democrats on board, and the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we narrow the bill. And right now the Democrats hate the idea that we're getting rid of mail-in voting. So maybe we'll get rid of that. Rand Paul, you are such a fucking traitor, you communist traitor bastard. Fuck. Senate GOP plows forward on Save America amid pressure from the right. They got to get this done. Now, it's funny is senators, I don't think, quite understand the reality of it. Like, here's Mike Lee saying, if we don't get it done or at least do everything we possibly can to try to get it passed, I think there's a very significant risk that our own base doesn't show up for us in November. Yeah, they won't show up for you. What's going to happen, though, is we're going to show up for primaries and get someone else. That's what we're going to do, Mike. You will be primaried, and we will vote for that person in overwhelming numbers. Mike, Tommy, any of you bastards, I don't give a shit if you guys generally are the ones we like. Your vote, your name, get it on there. If got all Democrats that don't vote for this is something that's extraordinarily popular. 80+% of the population supports this. So have the Democrats go and vote no. Let that be their record. It'll at least help us on that side of the fence. I so dislike the Senate. I so dislike the Republican senators. Again, there's a couple of them. I like Kennedy a lot. That chick from Blackburn, but she's leaving. Who else, right? I don't know. Thune, maybe. Again, I give him a little wiggle room just because he's got an extraordinarily difficult job, but he's not doing it very good right now, or at least get the damn vote in there. Get it done. And I kind of wonder, too, because I wonder if I think they need 60 is the problem. I was going to say if they got a 50-50 and then Vance can come in and be the tiebreaker, but I don't think that works in this case. I don't quite understand. Maybe it's because they'll filibuster. I'm still kind of wondering how that... Politics is strange, you know? TSA official. Airport security problems are going to get worse before they get better. They obviously haven't funded this. Thune's warning the Senate your April recess is not going to be happening if we don't get a budget for DHS. Now, right now, the Democrats are basically saying, look, here's the thing. You can no longer deport people at all. Like, do what we say or else we'll continue to keep this small portion of the government shut down. And ultimately what's going to start to happen is people aren't going to be able to work these jobs. And what that literally means is an airport can't open. It's not that they can bring in other workers. That you can't. So these airports will shut down. And if the people can't drive the additional distance to go to an airport that's further away because they're one of the only people willing to show up at their airports, so they shut their airport down, they might not be able to afford to drive to the other airports. If they keep pushing this, we are going to have this get more interesting. And the Dems are going to have a hard time. Look, they said it was because of ICE, and ICE has always been funded from day one. So that was kind of a misnomer and a lie. And now they're trying to say, well, no, but what we're trying to do is force them from being able to deport people. Well, again, deportations, especially of criminals, is very popular right now. So we've literally got 47% of the Senate doing something that's even unpopular in their base because they want to help illegals. Now, again, it's their money flow. It's their votes. It's their entire existence is being threatened. They know it. They can't say it, so they're trying to fight it. And Donald Trump's basically saying, hey, Congress, pass the farm bill now, which he's assuming the House. So pass the farm bill. He's like, get that done. I don't know if he's going to sign it, though. He said he's not going to sign any more things until SAVE Act. We'll see what happens. Key senator urges Trump to declassify intelligence on China election meddling. That'd be cool. We'll see if it happens. Just yay. Someone's talking about it. Senator Ron Johnson. Maybe he's a keeper. Maybe. He's on the maybe fence. Though doesn't get quite as much leeway in my mind as Thune. I think I gets a little bit more, only because he's herding cats. All right, we've had two very strange things happen at the same airport. Oh, well, I guess this is different airports. Okay, I thought it was the Burbank Airport still. But yeah, the Newark Liberty International Airport, we had almost two planes colliding. There are runways that sort of cross over each other, as you can see maybe on this image. But you've got them kind of crossing over each other, which is interesting that we're landing. And the wind must have been either really calm or kind of weird. But all that said, they just barely missed each other. Like they missed each other by a football field length. And planes and runways, that's really close. Really close. That would have been catastrophic. So last minute, they watch out. And so that happened. Then near collision at Burbank Airport. FAA is changing some rules because of this one, but we had a helicopter and a plane that came dangerously close to crashing. In fact, the helicopter, it was the helicopter's fault, by the way. They were drifting into the flight path of a plane landing. They did an evasive maneuver. Thank God that saved both, but it was a Beechcraft 99 that was cleared to land. And so they almost hit each other. And supposedly there's some sort of visual flight rules that the rules have pilots use on that final approach. And because of that, they almost hit each other, and the helicopter couldn't see the plane. And anyway, long story short, the FAA is like, no, we got radar. You guys use radar. Flight control is going to control probably anything within a distance of the airport, or completely out to a distance when they hand you off to, I think they hand you off to like the next beacon or something to that effect. I don't know exactly how it works. I've played with it, but I don't set all the settings, right? I remember back when I was younger, I actually set a flight. I had a giant map, and it was ridiculous. It was awesome, though. I was like, seriously, I was like 13. That was so cool. I was way into shit like that. Okay, hey, OTFspecial.com. This is Feel Great. They are amazing. I do it every day. I love it. And I'm actually, there's a lot of things. One, I'm using their protein powder right now, and I'll put that link in the top no, I won't. Because none of you guys, very few of you guys are probably working out hard to where you want a really good protein powder. There's literally only 4 ingredients in it. I love it. It's freaking awesome. It is the best protein powder I've ever used. My workouts have been a little more intense not because of the protein powder, because I pumped everything up one plate. Like I went up a plate on everything, every exercise I'm doing. So I think I was just getting lax and just getting comfortable. And I said, let's push it. And then I've been using the protein powder too. So it's kind of a win-win. And they've also got Signal, which is another thing. It's like their version of Gatorade, doesn't have sugar in it. Again, they have amazing products. The Feel Great's the one that fits a lot of the people in my audience, fits a lot of us in America. 94% of us have insulin resistance. A lot of that has to do with the crazy foods we eat. This product helps that. It helps your body kind of work through that, teaches your body how to properly digest, actually causes you to start losing weight. Your sugar levels start to change. Your A1Cs start to change. Your cholesterol numbers without doing anything else. And it's not that it's a miracle per se, but it does actually help your body tremendously. And what there's 3 packets a day that you mix in water that are delicious. 2 of them are the Unimate, and 1 of them's the Balance. The Balance you do right before you eat, and it's a fibrous substance that literally it keeps expanding for a period of time, but it gets down into your stomach, and it kind of expands, fills you up a little bit, and it also your food kind of goes down into that and gets digested within it, and not everything is digested quite the same. So you literally are lowering numbers. You're still getting benefits of food, but you're not necessarily seeing the spikes. And what you're finding with the Unimate is during the day, you're not having all the crazy cravings that you typically do. And you'll start to notice a lot of benefits. So whether you've got fatty liver, whether you're having diabetes, which people have literally stopped taking, and I've shared it before. We're going to just share people's comments that are in my audience. But the diabetes, you've got even erectile dysfunction is actually being fixed by this. But gut health, cholesterol issues, fatigue, depression, like you literally are going to feel great. It is an amazing product. It's delicious. I want to do it. In fact, it's not one of those things where I got to go do. It's like, I need to. I want to. Love it. And the energy it gives me is fantastic. And again, like I said, it helps me so much. For me, I don't know, it gets me like at least another 2-3 hours of like not being hungry. And sometimes I feel hunger before I want to, and I'll eat sometimes a little later, but not right then. And I don't like to. It's just me, right? So this is helping me tremendously. Now, as far as people in my audience, Tool Time. Just giving an update. It's been a month, 3/5/26. My wife has been on the Unimate Balance, and she's lost 6 pounds already. And that was a few days ago, but still. We've got Paula talking about how this is awesome. She's losing weight, not getting the snacking cravings like she used to. We've got S. Jones. Thank you for doing Unicity. I'm down 19 pounds. So excited. You guys know S. Jones 39, our good friend. And we've got Teresa saying, hey, I haven't checked in, but I'm doing great. I'm on day 34, and I'm averaging 18.45 on my fasting. I am down 12.2 pounds as of today. So grateful that Dan brought this amazing product into our lives. I'm so grateful you guys are trying it. Marion, Terrell, these are all people in my audience, folks. And I've only been doing it for like 3 months. I love this stuff. My digestion is so much better, and I'm not having hot flashes. Me neither, thank God. Again, Charlene sharing with us. Her numbers are going down. She's getting tested again soon. It's amazing. That's Nana's little corner. Also, Thomas started Unicity about a month ago due to the fear of diabetes, too, like my father's been fighting over the past 30 years. Your advertisement came at the perfect time as I was in the middle of showing signs of diabetes. This past month, I have lost 15 pounds. My blurry vision has been slowly dissipating. My carpal tunnel issues have calmed down. Avid reflex is almost non-existing. I'm getting better sleep and have more energy. I'm not joking. These are all people in my audience. And I'd have more, frankly, but I think a lot of people, they don't know how to, one, get a hold of me. You guys, X is one place you can do it. But two, yeah, we've got, you want to reach out to Unicity. They'll take it too, and they'll pass them along to me. Folks, people are loving this product. It's changing their lives. I'm not going to play the video, but there's John talking about it. We've played him. Claudia, we've talked about. She was really bad. She was getting, John was getting 4 shots a day. And that changed. He finally got rid of all that. This is giving people's lives back to them. The pharmaceutical industry wants to change that. You're not doing anything different. You're going to keep doing all your stuff, and you're going to go see your doctor the next time, and he's going to tell you, what are you doing? Because your numbers are way better. We're going to actually have to lower how much insulin you're taking. Or maybe some of your statins, or maybe some of your other crazy meds. OTFspecial.com. OTFspecial.com. If you're even 10 pounds overweight, recommend it. If you're pre-diabetic or anything along that spectrum, highly recommend it. This is an amazing product. It is delicious, and it gives results. OTFspecial.com, OTFspecial.com. Feel great with Unicity and with this just incredible products. And again, once you set up an account and all that, you can go in and check like all the stuff they've got in the store. They've got, where is it? Where are my vitamins? Oh, there. They've got the vision vitamins that I've been taking. I don't know if they're helping, frankly. But I take them. They've got a couple other things. I've got stuff all over the place. I've got many of their products. They've got a coffee product I've tried. They've got a green tea matcha that I've tried. That's just energy drink. It's actually really good. So they've got some amazing stuff. It's got a green apple flavor to it. Kind of got a matcha taste to it. It's pretty good, actually. All that said, OTFspecial.com, OTFspecial.com. Check it out and get healthy and feel great while you're doing it. That's the fun thing. All right, stupid states. 2 of them are getting focused on today, I think. I think there's only 2. But we've got some really bad stuff that's coming out about California. And it's not just because I'm here. I want you guys to know that. That is, of course, part of it. This is my state, so I definitely want to make noise about my state. This is important to me. But also one of the largest economies in the world, truly. And some of the most horrendous fraud in the world. So I want to see it done. But also, when you think of a lot of the political candidates that are hoping to head to Washington, a bunch of them are coming from here. And that can't happen. You all need to know how horrible this state is also, so you don't potentially fall for any of these nut jobs. Now, most of you guys are better at the difference, but when you have conversations with other people, they'll be like, I don't know, Gavin Newsom seems okay. They'll be like, all right, hang on, here's some stuff I've heard. And then you can maybe get them to, maybe think differently. Who knows? Apparently, Cesar Chavez just recently came out. I sort of ignored the story yesterday. I didn't quite realize the significance of it. I forgot we actually had a holiday here. Called Cesar Chavez Day. So they changed the holiday name, removed Cesar Chavez because it just recently came out that he's in charge, or he's been basically accused of sexual assault involving children and women. It surfaced the day before. So there's accusations. I don't know if it's true, and the dude's dead, so I don't really know how that works. But apparently it's pretty bad evidence. So, whoops. What a surprise. They celebrate somebody who's a horrific individual. Jeez, who would have thunk that? California Bridge to Nowhere. This is that crazy bridge. Okay, so I talked about it yesterday and how ridiculous this bridge is. It cost over $117 million. It's going to cost way more than that probably, but I just saw why they did it. I didn't dig into the story that far the other day. I just this is so stupid. It gets stupider. You want to know why they built this giant ass bridge? Do I have a picture of it anywhere? There it is. Literally. A no reason, no purpose, extraordinarily expensive, stupid ass bridge that's got life up top. The reason they built it? Because one mountain lion got hit by a car on the freeway because it was trying to cross the freeway. So, how do we solve that problem rather than just running over cats? Just, it's going to happen. Let's build a $150 million bridge that the cats may or may not use. What, are you going to line it with, like, what's that crap that cats like, their marijuana or whatever? Just line it with that, right? So the cats all go that way? I mean, because a freaking mountain lion got hit. Why don't they make these things for, deer crossing? Shit, deer get hit all the time. But a mountain lion that tried to run across a freeway that's got dividers in the middle? It's not a smart mountain lion. There's ways to go under. There's whatever. Not a very smart animal. That's all I can say. So, whatever the hell. Now, here goes more, because it just gets worse. O'Keefe Media has been hanging out with Benny Johnson, and they actually did some pretty good clips here. Hopefully they don't overlap. I don't believe they do, but it gets into a lot of the crazy scandal that's going on. So, yeah, Gavin Newsom is apparently backing their discovery. I don't feel like there's truth in that yet, but I feel like they're putting pressure on them to feel that way. So, anyway, we'll see what it is.
James really caught him on this one. They're out freaking out. They're losing their minds, making statement after statement after statement about how illegal this is and how they're going to investigate it. I've never seen this before in my life. In anything that any of James's work, I've never seen the Democrats in charge come screaming out of the gate saying how illegal these operations were and how they got us. It's been a remarkable series of statements from Gavin Newsom's office all the way through the Los Angeles city government. But then also it's replicatable. And this is what's so critically important about James's work here, and James joining us here in just a few seconds. The alleged activity is a felony in California. Anybody caught engaging in this activity is investigated and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Wait a second. Gavin Newsom is backing up James O'Keefe?
I think it's, if I may, I think there's a reason why here. And you saw it in Cam Higby's reporting and ours. You actually see the cash money given to the homeless person.
Yes.
Most people talk about stuff, and it's great stuff they talk about, and it's great. But in this video, your audience may not know this, it's a federal crime to pay someone to register them to vote. You can't give them drugs, cigarettes, or money. And I don't think this has ever been actually captured on video. There's one instance in 2019 where the LADA prosecuted, but there was no videotapes. But in this video, we captured it 28 times over the course of a few days. That means it's happening tens, if not hundreds of thousands of times. So they're like, whoa. And Cam Higby's video showed the same thing. Anthony Rubin's video is about to show the same thing. I think Savannah Hernandez is doing something on this. I think there's more citizen journalists. There it is, the cash money. You can see it right there. It's rare that you actually capture the crime on video where it's not circumstantial evidence. It's not hearsay.
Yeah, it gets kind of worse. So here's some more fraud. They're talking about the same stuff here, but it's expanding on it.
I don't want to get ahead of your reporting, but since you did a teaser, perhaps you could tell our audience a little bit more about what comes next. Did I get this right? In San Francisco, not only are they telling people, not only are they paying people to register and getting people to register in an illegal breaking federal law, but then they're telling them how to vote. Did I get that right, James?
That's correct. In San Francisco, JJ was the person's name. It's never the news networks that capture this. It's always randos with their phones in broad daylight. JJ got them giving the petitioners were giving the homeless names to vote in the name of, which is many, many crimes. Multiple federal crimes, multiple state crimes. They were pulling registered voters and saying, please vote for the petition in the name of this registered voter, because it's easier for them to do that than to get them to register to vote, because many of these homeless don't have addresses and it's hard to ascertain. So that is what is coming next. And it's so shocking. I keep saying this is the biggest story I ever did, but that's because we keep outdoing our previous reporting. That, if I got to go stand, If I got to go stand in the parking lot where these law enforcement people live and work, I will do that. I will investigate the prosecutors. And I think that's why Newsom is putting out the statement he's putting out. I think because he knows he's going to have to do something on this. So stay tuned for that. And yes, they are giving homeless people the names of voters that they should vote in the name of, as well as paying them cash to register to vote.
I mean, this is just beyond crazy. And Newsom has to deal with it, and we'll see if they drag their feet or not, but we have the opportunity of pushing hard on this one. Nobody likes cheating in elections. Nobody. And that doesn't help, especially when we've been screaming it forever. And now all of a sudden, a lot of people are like, shit, really? They've been right about this too? Oh, man. Dude, I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to be like, what else are they right about? I thought they were nuts, but they seem to be right. I don't want to believe it, but here's more.
Now, I'm doing something new here, Benny. I've never done this before. We're calling it the Justice League, like the Journalism Justice League. They don't work for me, and I don't work for them. We're going to be launching a video each day, every day, showing this exact same thing until somebody is arrested. That's today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm going to release one video a day showing an illegal federal and state crime until somebody gets arrested. And because I know what your audience, I can't see the comments right now, but I know what they're all thinking. No one's going to be held accountable. No. Someone will be held accountable. And let me tell you something. If you keep, pardon me for being direct, bitching and whining that nobody's held accountable, then nobody will be held accountable. But if you make it happen, if you go out in the field like Benny did and Anthony Rubin did and Cam Higbee did and James O'Keefe did, and you can go to Skid Row, you know how to use your phone. They're doing it in broad daylight, Benny. They're not even hiding this. Do you know that? Go out there and capture it on video. We're calling it the Justice League. I think the future is not in organizations and institutions. I think it's an individual citizen journalist like Nick, like Cam Higbee, out there on their own. That's the future of journalism, not in organizational newsrooms, because they just won't do the work. So at 1 o'clock, Anthony Rubin is going to release another videotape, and I am confident that people are going to get prosecuted. I'm confident.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the pressure campaign's beautiful. Justice League, I love it. So they're getting crazy, getting good, and we are hopefully going to see some changes happening. Here is one last part for California, but again, guys, it's going to matter a lot in the big picture, and this is one state that I've been very curious about. Stephen Smith trips out on what Kevin Kiley is saying. He's a rep. He's the one that flipped to independent. He did it because he's got to try to keep his seat. And he breaks down how ridiculous our voting system is. So then on top of what you just saw with O'Keefe, add this nightmare on top of it.
Years ago, because I think it was...
What? When did that happen? That's right there. That's why the same act been proposed.
I think the fact that we don't have voter ID in places like California is extremely unusual in democracies across the globe. There's maybe like 2 or 3 democracies in the world that don't have it. This is just kind of
Excuse me for being so ignorant and asking last question. This is definitely my last question. What do you mean you don't have voter ID in California? Could you please elaborate specifically on that for my audience that may not know?
Yeah, California does not have voter ID. You don't need to present it to register. You don't need to present it to vote. As a matter of fact, the state passed a law forbidding voter ID. So cities, counties, if they want
forbidding
ID, they're not allowed to under state law.
What? When did that happen?
A couple years ago, because I think it was Orange County, they wanted to have their own requirements, so the state passed a law saying, nope, you're not allowed to. Voter ID is not only not required, it is actively forbidden.
That's right there. That's why the same act been proposed. Right there, the state of California. That's what the Republicans going to lean on as an excuse to definitely push forth the SAVE Act. Right there. I can't believe it. I didn't even know that, sir. I'm embarrassed to admit.
There's a lot of crazy things going on in California.
That's my neck of the woods. This is the stronghold. This is the Alamo for California. It's one of, I think, actually, but this is a significant one. DOJ warns Letitz James about these threats to this hospital, stopping transing minors. DOJ has basically said, look, you're kind of not in the right on this one. What you're trying to ask them to do is not cool. Todd Blanche is basically letting Letitz know that is unacceptable. Governor Hochul, because of her policies. Now listen to what she's saying. This is actually funny.
And being conscious of the facts that I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who've stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded. So I philosophically don't have a problem. It is like I have to look at the fact that we are in competition with other states who have less of a tax burden on their corporations and their individuals. And I would say remote work changed everything. There were people who could only work in an office in Manhattan or work in New York State, and they were captives to our state. They were going to stay. We saw that that's not the case. I mean, Wall Street businesses looking at Texas, they're not going there because they have a nicer governor. I know that for sure. But they're going there because of the tax rate. We have to be smart about this. But we can fund what we want to fund with what we already are taking in.
Yeah, you guys totally overblew it. And like they said, they thought people wouldn't leave. California's finding the same thing. People can work remotely. So again, if you're living in another state and being paid in that state, and that's where you're working from, though the company that you work for maybe be in California, for example, you don't actually work in California. You're not doing your work in California. California's, and this is just real quick to any of you guys. A lot of people, I see people all the time talking about, well, you pay your taxes, you're an idiot. You're paying your taxes to pedophiles and all this crazy stuff. Like, that's okay, whatever. But I'm going to say this. One, if you work for a company and you're W-2, there's no way that company's ever going to let you not pay taxes, period. You can put as many deductibles or dependents as you want. That's up to you. Pay the minimum amount, I guess, but they're never going to let you do it. If you go about it your own, say you're a 1099 or something to that effect, the federal government, you probably will get away with it. But I'm going to tell you this. The state government will come after you like you've never been come after before. So please keep that in mind. Federal government, you might actually get away with it, at least for a while. I mean, they're going to have AI doing this, so they're going to find you eventually. But the state, that state will come after you, especially California. Dude, it won't even take but like a year. They'll be sending you stuff in the mail and be like, yeah, we noticed you owe us a bunch of money. Comey has apparently been subpoenaed for alleged grand conspiracy against Trump. This is coming from alleged people close to the situation. It's not supposed to really be released, and it's coming through Axios. So, whatever. It might be a leak, whatever. I mean, it's probably not from anyone that we care about. Maybe it is. Who knows? Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. But it is Eileen Cannon that's working this case, which is interesting because it's definitely one of the judges we like. There's a few of them. But, yeah, we keep hearing about all the shitty ones. This is definitely a good one. We'll see if this happens, and hopefully it does. But this might be very well the movement towards the bigger picture. And the grand conspiracy is what they need. They need to get all of that sort of settled and assessed, and then be able to get some timelines established, and then they can use that, because statute of limitations is the thing. A lot of these guys will be like, it's been too long, and they're like, not for a grand conspiracy, and then they just slowly roll up the middle finger, and life is good. So Comey is maybe in the crosshairs right now. We'll find out. DHS claims Democrat congressional staffer falsely claimed to be an immigration attorney 11 times. 11 times they tried to get into a facility, and they were, I guess, letting someone use a cell phone and whatnot. But this individual told detention facilities 11 times that they were there representing different people, which was a lie. That's not cool. Now, interestingly, the person that he's a staffer for, Escobar, rejected the allegations on her staffer's behalf, accusing the administration of engaging in intimidation tactics. Well, if she signed in as an attorney, there's facts of that. So, of course, he's coming out publicly, but yeah, they don't use facts. They don't like facts, but we bring facts. So when those facts come to the table, we'll be talking about it, and that's for sure. Trump administration files birthright citizenship brief with the Supreme Court, just once again reiterating that it was back to the slaves. That's what the point of it. That's when they wrote it. That's why it was there, and it was supposed to give them citizenship. It is not, so people just can get pregnant in other countries and then try to plan their vacation perfectly. That's not what it's supposed to be. Judge denies asylum for family of 5. You guys remember the one where the guy left his child and then they all said they arrested the child, right? You guys remember that story? That's a fun story. The judge has denied them asylum. It is being appealed, but it's not going to matter. And I think part of it is, I believe he's from Ecuador. Yeah, this guy's from Ecuador. He's like, yeah, Ecuador's cool right now. There's not a problem there. Ecuador is no longer controlled by the cartels, so it's not dangerous to go back. And if you are a criminal in Ecuador, yeah, that's your problem. That's different. You're not going to be a criminal here. That's not acceptable, right? So we'll see. Judge orders criminal illegal who was a New York City council staffer. Yeah, I love this. He was actually working for Mom Donnie's, his council or something. Which one is it? The department. Rafael Andres Rubio Bojarquez, criminal illegal alien from Venezuela and an employee of New York City Council. That's awesome. So anyway, he's been deported. I'm sure that'll end up in some judge's hands. But Arkansas's governor, yeah, I know it's Arkansas. Arkansas's governor says she was asked to leave a restaurant because employees felt threatened. The restaurant name in Little Rock is the Croissanterie. The Croissanterie. So obviously a French place that's full of lameness. Anyway, just make sure you never go there, I guess is all I can say. That's all. And yeah, don't do anything illegal. Don't make claims or anything that are unsubstantiated or could potentially cause harm to the restaurant, other than just don't go there, which we're allowed to do. That's legal. But yeah, you don't want to say like what happened to Wendy's without saying anything. Social media is causing a lot of harm to, well, everybody, but teens specifically. While teens' brains are getting wired, this is certainly not good. Right now, I think a lot of parents are trusting. I think a lot of parents don't realize, one, how predation works online, especially. I don't think a lot of parents appreciate or understand enough how the internet works. I don't think a lot of parents understand how some of these apps work, because a lot of us aren't necessarily wired the same way, so it doesn't work the same with us. Many of us it does. I've seen other people be like, I don't know, I don't have enough likes. You just shared what you shared, didn't you? Because you wanted to share it. So anyway, it's funny. Governments are increasingly considering policies to protect minors. This is, I think parents have to take responsibility. Like if you let your child have a phone that's at an early age, it's safer. No, it's not. That's just crazy. It's ridiculous. And if you're not controlling what's on those devices, that's ridiculous. If they're under 16 for sure, and you're not involved directly with anything, if you're not grabbing their phone out of their hands every so often and making sure it's unlocked, like right after they swipe it and then grab it from them, and be like, thanks, and just start looking at their shit, then you're not being a parent. Do not trust these apps. These apps are horrible, and they are literally, they're meant to be addictive. They're trying to keep you on the platform as long as possible. Addictive, not addictive, whatever. That's what they're trying to do. Right, wrong, and different. And because of that experience that you get, it hits that dopamine thing. It messes with you. And it can make it difficult to sleep. It can make it difficult to relax. It can make it difficult to put the phone down. I know people that literally, if they forget their phone, it's a panic. Like, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't worry. No, we got to go back now. I can't. What if something happens? And that's what everyone says. Well, then you'll use any person that's around us will have a phone. It's not like you're walking around and like, oh, no phones, man. Nobody has phones here. It's a no phone city. It never happens. Just be careful, guys. Your kids are definitely the prize. Well, our souls are the prize, really, and then your kids are a big part of that. Safe corridor opening up through the Strait of Hormuz. We do know that China and friends of Iran are supposedly getting easy passes, if you will, and anybody else that's trying to get through, they're having to make some deals. Some have paid money. I think one shipping company paid $2 million to get safe passage. So Iran's doing some interesting stuff right now. Trump, of course, is pissed off big time at the Europe, and we'll get there. Secretary Bessent says U.S. is considering options to steady the oil market. We're talking about maybe letting out some more of our strategic reserves. Trump will fill them back up, but this is going to be one of those places where we're going to be really pissed off that Biden did what he did because he drained it down a lot, and we're needing it a lot right now. So this is kind of what I think he was hoping to almost empty them, and then we'd just be screwed like right now. But there's, like we've talked before, there's 3 different prices for oil now, and we are the lowest. America's price of oil is the lowest. If that comes up a little bit, that makes it a lot more affordable for us to actually start mining more, which is a big part of what needs to happen because it's a lot more expensive to mine in this country. So we, to bring businesses back here, it's got to be worth the money because we're expensive as employees, but also very good in most cases. Most cases. Some things we're, like repetitive stuff, we're generally Americans are not real good at, by the way, but we don't need to do a lot of that anymore. A lot of that's being automated. You shouldn't have to do stupid menial stuff like that. Yeah. Anyways, lots of oil going through. And so, again, this is helping the price of oil. So this is going to help make us a better alternative to many. Liquid natural gas has become extraordinarily expensive. Qatar shut down one of their facilities, causing a huge problem. Well, gee whiz, who happens to be a big liquid natural gas supplier? Wow, that's us. What a shock. Huh. How weird. So this is all really good for America, believe it or not. Now, the media, of course, plays it differently because they want to blame Trump. Fact of the matter is, it only sucks for the deep state places, Europe, China, Iran, and some nations that I think Trump made some deals with. He's like, look, here's what's going to happen, man. And they're probably made as good arrangements as they could. So, yes, U.S. LNG export terminals are running near maximum right now. And we've got a few that are in process of being built, some that are suspended and whatnot. So they might be able to open up some of the suspended ones. Abandoned ones, I don't know how hard it is to spin one of those up, but there's quite a few of those. I don't know if they've still got stuff left. Maybe they abandoned them because the money dried up, or they abandoned them because the well dried up. It's sometimes hard to say on natural gas. I don't know how dry it is, if you will. It's probably not the best analogy. So we'll see again, like how this kind of plays out. But it looks like Trump was prepared for all this, and they can't talk about it. They can't come on the news and say, yeah, we totally knew the strait would get closed down because it was going to cause the price of oil to go up, but it was really only going to cause the price of oil to go up in these 2 places, which have been dicks to us. So we don't care about that. He can't come out and say that as much as he probably wants to. It's like, I wish. Oh, it would be fun. It'd be so fun. No. Bezos is, he's plotting an interesting idea, $100 billion funds to transform companies using AI. What this is going to be is an attempt to take over companies. That's what Amazon does, and that's probably who he's going to use it with. So this is probably about as sinister as it gets. Again, I love Amazon and what it does. Bezos, I think, is a bad man, and I think Amazon takes over people's products. I don't like that per se, but the idea of having a brick and mortar store is unneeded. I mean, it just is. With the infrastructure we have, you shouldn't have to drive to 15 different places to get stuff. You should just be able to get stuff sent to your house. Now, whether those brick and mortars have warehouse space on their own and you just go online and buy from them, totally love that. And oftentimes I'll do that. There's a number of companies I buy directly from. But sometimes they're hard to find, right? Sometimes it's easy just to go to Amazon and you got like 15 different choices. You're like, ooh, look at that. And it'll come tomorrow at my doorstep. It's tough. It's tough to beat. That's the problem. I know a lot of people get mad on that one. That's the one thing. Like, I quit my Netflix. I did all that. But yeah, that's the one. I've told you guys. I've been honest. That's, I think, probably one of the worst things I do is the Amazon. I am a whore, too. I'm horrible. Fed chair blames AI data centers for rising bills and inflation concerns. Fed pals, I mean, he's at war with Trump. There's a lot of senators that are like, don't do this, don't do this. This is the point. The Fed has to come down. Has to. Now, stocks have been a trip today. Everything's been a trip lately. Now, initially, I thought gold and silver were actually kind of up to start the day, but they crashed hard. Looks like they're trying to rebound a little. Yeah, they were up earlier. Needless to say, it doesn't matter. It's just making it more affordable, which I think is fine because I know it's going back up. And all of it seemed, what's funny is when the price of oil goes up, everything else goes down, is what I'm seeing. I've been watching this for like about a week really carefully. I could keep sharing the numbers with you guys. Confidence is probably up, or down, I mean, so it's probably pointing up. We'll see when it finally updates. Yeah, so VIX is up 26.37, which means confidence is down. Again, it's backwards. It's stupid. And oil's up. Now, because of that, stocks are all down. All stocks are down. Was Europe's stocks down? Oh, Europe was up a little bit. Look at that. That's kind of funny. Asia's down mostly. Let's see. Futures we showed. Crypto. Yeah, crypto was meh. Yeah, it was up, down. It's been whatever. So it's just weird. Money's kind of moving, and the oil seems to be one of the key driving factors. Typically, the crypto was down earlier. So again, how this is all playing out, it's just very bizarre. Look, if there's 401k or an IRA, you're in this horrible mess right here. This is stock market. It's 46. That's cool. Nope, sorry, 45, 748. Yes, it was at 50 recently. I mean, this is the Dow. This is what a lot of your guys' 401ks and IRAs are based off of. Let's just go 3 months, right? And we'll put this over here so it's out of the way. But you'll see that, yeah, we capped a little over 50 up here, and it's just steadily gone down. Now, price of gold and silver lately have been coming down. There's been a lot of discussions how they were going to do it. Probably this is the last time they're going to be able to pull it off. It was expected. All it's doing, what I think this is, honestly, is like the last kind of chance to get in on gold and silver for a reasonable price, because it's going to spike hard here soon. And again, Taiwan is a possibility, especially with us moving out of the way and giving China a chance maybe to do that. Like Trump's like, oh, I got this other thing. Shucks, they were able to start it. Well, this is what we're going to do, but we're certainly not making it easy for them. And we're cutting off a lot of their oil. And they've also been supplying, of course, weapons to Iran and stuff to help with those weapons. That's been shut down. So a lot of things are happening. You don't want to get stuck in this mess. If you got a 401k or an IRA, take some of that winnings and protect it. Protect the buying power. Protect it with precious metals, a precious metals IRA. You can do it tax-free, penalty-free. You can move the money sideways. Move it sideways. If you touch it in any way, that's a payout. You're getting taxed and penalized. It's just how it works with a 401k or an IRA. You're not really supposed to touch it until later. Move it sideways. You can do it legally, tax-free, penalty-free. They're going to give you up to 10% free silver for doing this, which is awesome. So if you're moving 100 grand over, you're going to get 10 grand in free silver. It's fantastic how it works. And if you're able to call within 20 minutes, when you get the 4 data points, you hit the button, a little thing's going to pop up. If you can actually give that phone call, a call within 20 minutes, you're actually going to hook up on a little half-ounce Ronald Reagan coin. It's pretty cool. It's silver, too. It's 0.999%. It's from the U.S. Treasury. It's legit. Just by weight, it's worth a decent amount, and that's going to go up quite a bit over the next period in time. So, again, if you've got a qualifying plan, it works. And I highly recommend it. Go to drSlikesGold.com. They have the best customer service. Ask the questions you need to ask. Make sure you get all those answers before you do anything, but understand what your options are. Go to drSlikesGold.com. drSlikesGold.com. Get out of that crazy system before that crazy system gets out of you. That's for shiz. Whoops. Let's try not doing that. Let's try not changing scenes. Costa Rica's president cuts off diplomatic ties with the Cuban regime. That's kind of cool. So there's a lot going on our pole of the world. Think about that. We are decommunizing our area. This is just funny. Denmark made military preparations to potentially resist a Greenland takeover. They literally had explosives where they were going to blow up the runways where we were going to try to land our planes. Now, little do they understand that we've got abilities to land in pretty rough terrain. So I'm sure we could find places to land or create one very quickly with helicopters and some demolition. So again, it wouldn't have stopped anything if we wanted to take over Denmark by force. These two ladies are not going to stop us. UK teacher, he was banned for saying migrants should respect our laws or leave. Literally, it's what he said. This is wild. He responded to someone that said the law of Allah is superior to your laws. And he replied, sick of hearing rubbish being sprouted by these idiots. They can live in societies where their values are accepted. It isn't here. Leave. You won't be missed. That's all he said. Now, literally, he got investigated. He passed the investigation. They're like, nah, he didn't do anything. And so that worked out fine. And then anyway, after that happened, some other individual that was in the admission or in the somehow like a judge or something stupid. I don't know. I don't understand how their dumb system works. But they basically said, no, they're guilty. I've decided they are. So this dude's rocked anyway, so he can never teach again. Never. He can never be a teacher again. Donald Trump posted this or truthed this out. Without the USA, NATO is a paper tiger. They didn't want to join the fight to stop a nuclear-powered Iran. Now, that fight is militarily won. With very little danger for them, they complain about the high oil prices they are forced to pay, but don't want to help open the Strait of Hormuz. A simple military maneuver that is the single reason for the high oil prices, for them especially. So easy for them to do with so little risk. Cowards. And we will remember President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, we won't forget. This is likely going to cause big riff with NATO and the United States, which kind of needs to happen. So if you think about it, we've talked about this. World Health Organization, the UN, NATO. There's a number of large bureaucratic nightmares that exist in this world that the deep state took control of. And the United States is just single-handedly pulling out of them. It's like, all right, well, have fun. You can keep being deep state. We're not going to be giving you any of our money, but have a good day. Thank you for your attention to this matter. U.S. fitness app exposes location of French aircraft carrier. Not on a U.S. person. It was a French sailor wearing a app or a watch, smartwatch, that had a U.S. app on it. And because of that, the U.S. app actually shows users of people with these watches. Like, this is something they've actually found in Antarctica, by the way. Some people going into the pyramids and stuff, they were using this same satellite imagery to see a bunch of like military people heading into Antarctica and then disappeared from satellite signal, like they went underground or something. A lot of crazy stuff. Needless to say, yeah, you shouldn't be using those watches if you're in war. That's not very smart. So literally the aircraft carrier, they knew where it was within a very close proximity, like really close proximity, which is, well, to say it's embarrassing would be an understatement. Viktor Orban announces he's going to block all EU measures for Ukraine until oil transit is restored. He's like, Ukraine, you got to turn that oil on. The Druzhba pipeline, turn it on. Turn it on now. If you don't turn it on, we are not supporting anything for you. You turned it off. We don't believe there's damage. You're a liar. We're not giving you any more money. So Orban is a rock star. We love this dude. He is cool as hell. Now, folks, I want to remind you two things. And I'm going to try really hard just to let this, you've seen this before, and then the one I'm going to play next is for any of you Christians out there is going to cause you to, I think your head's going to pop. And I'm not trying to make your head pop, but it's going to. And I do think we're probably at that time where the truth about Israel, about the deep state within Israel, is coming to a head. And I think a lot of people are going to have a hard time with this in the big picture. I think a lot of us have our assessments of what we think it is, but I think it's significantly bigger and significantly darker than most people are prepared to hear. Guys, if you haven't read The Naked Bible, highly recommend it. The Naked Bible. Mario Biglino, and it was co-written by another gentleman, I forget his name. The Naked Bible. That's all I can say. So there's that was New York. You guys remember the tunnels, and they found like baby cribs and high chairs and all sorts of stuff like that in these underground tunnels. I do believe they found some other rather unsavory things as well, and busted a whole lot of these characters. So this is just a reminder. And then this.
Also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that a lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now, doesn't obviate these truths.
Now, again, I know Trump's involved in a lot of this, and the parts that he's a part of, I'm game with. I think you use the people that you can until there's a time where you need to try to pull them back. And I think Trump knows that's probably going to be a challenge with Israel. But Trump is the master deal maker. So we'll see. Maybe it doesn't have to go Samson, like everybody wants in the deep state. Deep state wrote the prophecy. Just, you guys don't believe that, and that's fine. I'm not going to try to prove it to you. But deep state, evil, the Canaanites, they're the ones that wrote the prophecies. F-35, so we talked about this yesterday. It made an emergency landing. Supposedly Iran is showing this. I don't think this is what they claim. Second off, if the explosion that occurred happened and actually hit the plane, then I have a hard time believing the plane made it home. Now, what it could have been, and maybe this is a legit picture, even though I swear to God it does not look like an F-35. I feel like there should be slight movement. The image just seems too consistent to me. Now, I get it's a FLIR image or whatever, but nonetheless, maybe the explosion happened below it and it created damage from the shrapnel of the explosion. Maybe that's how these explosions work, as they try to get close, and that might have been what this is, like an anti-missile type warhead. So maybe it wasn't designed to actually hit or kinetically hit the plane, which would have destroyed it. So maybe that's what it is. Again, I don't know what kind of weapons. I know they have a lot of different kinds of weapons, and this just looks weird to me. It doesn't look real. Like, we wouldn't have it. Anyway, it's a FLIR. It's a infrared image. I don't know, whatever. Check it out. Right, so it cuts right after. It cuts right at the explosion. So it's hard to tell if it hit it or not. But if that actually made contact with the plane, there's no damn way the plane landed. So again, I'm not sure if this is real. No one's come out and said anything other than Iran, which we can't trust. CNN keeps hyping it because they want it to look bad, especially in F-35. That'd be a big victory for China. Now, for Israel. It wouldn't surprise me if this is another friendly fire incident, which I'm questioning in a lot of ways too. But I also saw someone totally misreport that the other day, which pissed me off. I think it was Zero Hedge. They're saying, yeah, they shot down 3 F-16s, like, and 6 pilots ejected. It's like, first off, I think only a couple trainer F-16s maybe exist. I don't even think they exist. They're all single pilot planes, and they were F-15s that got shot down. F-16s wouldn't have been as big a deal, frankly. So Japan's really stepping up to the plate. She had a cool little visit with Trump. I want to play these few things just because I like this lady. And they have high tariffs. They get a lot of their oil from the Strait of Hormuz. They're willing to help. And Trump he's working a great deals with this lady. And Japan and United States are becoming very friendly again. It's awesome.
We're going to be speaking about it today. we've had tremendous support and relationship with Japan on everything. And I believe that based on statements that were given to us yesterday, the day before yesterday, having to do with Japan, they are really stepping up to the plate. Yes.
Yeah, stepping up to the plate. He also talks about he firmly believes, this is her saying nice things about him. It's kind of long, but it's cool. She says all the crap in Japan, or Japanese, and then a translator says what it is in English, but it's still kind of cool. And she obviously loves this dude. And I love, again, there's something about like the expressions on Asian people's faces. It's just such a unique culture. It's part of my like fascination with them as a people. But it's just her expressions and her happiness and the way she says this with such emotion and respect it's just, I like it. I think it's really, really cool and significant show to the rest of the world as well.
でも私は、世界の、繁栄とそして、平和に、貢献できる、世界中に、平和と繁栄をもたらせるのはドナルドだけだと思っています。
But even against such backdrop, I firmly believe that it is only you, Donald, who can achieve peace across the world.
そのために私は、諸外国に働きかけて、しっかりと応援をしたいと思っています。
And to do so, I am ready to reach out to many of the partners in the international community to achieve our objective together.
今日私はそれを伝えに来ました。
So today I came here at the White House to directly convey this message to you.
And the hands are interesting. The one on top of the other, and I'm not sure if there's significance to the two fingers and the fingers on top are crossing, but it does sort of show a form of unity to me. If you take it in a weird spiritual sense, it's also got a left hand and right hand path coming together, which is also interesting. I don't know. Maybe reading way too much into it too. It's entirely possible. Some people do, like I've caught myself doing weird gestures with my hands when like just sitting there and I'm like, oh, like people would think that's weird, like it's just comfortable position. It's hard to, I don't think there's any other thing to it. Anyway, whatever the case is, here's Trump talking about the potentiality of putting boots on the ground, because there's been a lot of talk about that too. And again, shit stories. I don't report some of this stuff because it's coming from shit sources, so I don't even tell you guys about it, because I don't want to waste time telling you all the stories you shouldn't listen to. That's just giving them reach. So I just don't mention them. But yeah, here's what Trump has to say about that.
Do you intend to lift sanctions on Iranian oil, and do you intend to potentially put U.S. troops or more troops in the region?
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you. But I'm not putting troops, and we will do whatever is necessary to keep the price as well. I actually thought when I did this, look, the Dow just hit 50,000 a couple of weeks ago. They said that couldn't happen for 4 years. It wouldn't happen in my term. It's such an outrageous thing because I said it would happen. I didn't know it was going to happen that fast, but it just hit 50,000, and we did that in 1 year, not 4. S&P had just hit 7,000. They said that was even more impossible than the Dow hitting 50, and we did that in 1 year. So it was all done. Everything was going great. The economy was great. Oil prices were very low. Gasoline was dropping to, we had $1.99, $1.85. We had great everything. And I saw what was happening in Iran, and I said, I hate to make this excursion, but we're going to have to do it. And I actually thought the numbers would be worse. I thought that it would go up more than it did. But we're doing this excursion, and when it's completed, we're going to have a much safer world. And the Prime Minister agrees with me on this. She considers it to be terrible what Iran did. I think every country does, just about every country does. Iran is a serious threat to the world, to the Middle East and to the world. And everybody agrees with me. I think virtually every country agrees with me on that.
Yeah, big time. And, it reminds me that I meant to point out something on his truth post. Was it here? Yeah, it was here. When he said this, nuclear-powered Iran. A lot of people say, one, is there any evidence? I'd love to. I want to know all the top secret shit. I want to know all the classified stuff. I so badly do. All of it. I know I do. I would just sit there and just drool hearing all the crazy shit that they do and can do, and right, all the secrets. Oh, it'd be awesome. It ain't going to happen, though. It's not. So we're not going to find out that China maybe gave them a nuke, that China maybe gave them some missiles that were capable of extended range, that maybe, and again, China, deep state, I should say, again, I don't want to get pissed at a country, because the Chinese we're trying to free China too. So again, that was something that I forgot to point out, that I think Trump is very much protecting us, very much knew that there was more going on than he wants to admit to the world that he knows. So he's not going to tell the press. And we don't necessarily have a right to know. And maybe the Gang of Eight knows. Maybe they don't. Supposedly they've never leaked. When Schumer said that, I was like, okay, that's a bold statement to make. Like, because if there's any evidence of them leaking stuff, I think it would come out almost immediately. Netanyahu says revolution in Iran will require ground component to the war. Now, that likely could have a lot to do with him. A ground component, he's very shy about saying anything what that would mean. He's like, I'm not going to give you guys any of that. So that could largely just mean some individuals here and there that are sparking revolution, bringing in weapons, things like that. Maybe satellite communications, Tesla, stuff like that, right? Starlink shit. So, boots on the ground, us? No. Israel? To a degree. Mostly the Iranian people rising up and taking back their government, knowing that they've got the support to do it, because we can't do this for them. And ultimately, an interim leader, or at least a leader that's okay with what's about to happen and can maybe help it when it finally does start moving, is needed as well. So we'll see. We got a lot of these hardliners. Well, I don't know how many are left alive still. I don't think many, but we'll see. We'll see who stands up next. Israel vows no more strikes on Iranian energy assets after the South Pars hit. He even took ownership of it and said, yeah, nobody knew about it. We did this on our own. And initially they said that, we were aware of it, but he pulled that back and said, no, Israel acted alone. I think Trump was like, we didn't know about this. What are you talking about? Oh, I thought I told Janice to tell so-and-so to tell you. Oh, sorry. Whoops. All right, so whatever the case is. I mean, Israel, I think they lie to the public far more than Trump does. Let's put it that way. And again, right, wrong, and different. I'm not attacking Israel at all. I think there's a lot of people of Israel in the country that are good people. But I do think we've got the same problems everywhere. We've got deep state components that are super bad. Israel's one of those key places that is problematic. And many suggest, and I don't have any proof to this, but that really the whole concept of the Khazarian mafia was really the people that ultimately came into Israel first and sort of started taking some of the land, the Khazars, right, earlier on in the Belfort Accord, especially during the way their land grab kind of worked out. So we have an interesting situation. Again, there's a lot to be said. The name changed in the Bible even. I think there's something to that. Something to that. Netanyahu threatens more strikes on missile sites as Iran vows zero restraint. Israeli Prime Minister said the IDF would reduce Tehran's military capabilities to dust as the Middle East enters its third week. And again, we're going to start pulling back on this. Israel's going to do what Israel's going to do. And Israel might get themselves in trouble. And we still don't have any proof. They're just referencing the same video of that F-35. Again, they might have shot it. Again, I don't know. Something that's fun for any of you guys that love the military and airplanes and stuff like that, the A-10 Warhog is back in action. This is a plane that they've tried to retire so many times. They've tried to retire this thing so many times. It is just such a damn good aircraft. I mean, it's not the fastest, definitely not the prettiest. They call it the Warthog for a reason. But daggum, as they would say, man, it is a mean old machine, and it can take a beating and still get home. They are amazing. It is an amazing aircraft. Absolutely amazing. And they're reasonably quiet. And yeah, if you hear them, you're lucky you're alive, is all I got to say. You're obviously not a threat. But they're using these to look for those little mosquito boats in the water. And if you think about it, they're kind of, they're suited to it for the standpoint of these things can't really shoot back. And if they do, even small arms fire, it ain't going to hurt these guys. I mean, the pilot sits in a titanium bathtub, and the plane itself it's got so much redundancies built into it. You could shoot holes into it. You could break off parts of the wing, and it's still going to fly home. Things are amazing. They're like aircraft carriers. They're amazing aircraft that just don't want to not fly. They're like, nah, it's cool, man. Yeah, I know I'm missing a wing. It's cool. We just pull real hard to that one side. Yeah, there you go. Nah, see, we're flying fine. It's cool. You want to go blow up some more stuff? And it's like, God, we almost could. We can turn one way really good. But that cannon's brutal. It slows the plane down. That's how gnarly it is. Literally slows the plane down when they only fire it for moments. It's like crazy. So yeah, they're blowing up the boats with those. That's so much fun. Netanyahu calls for ground component in the Iran war. Again, it's the same nonsense. I probably should have cut that story. And the UAE reaffirms its $1.4 trillion U.S. investment pledge, despite the ongoing war. So again, the world came together in a large extent to do what we're doing right now. This is a much larger thing, so don't let people freak you out. And gosh, some of you guys are going to be pissed at me, but again, this is not a newscaster for those of you that get all butthurt when I talk about how someone's hot, but I have in my life never wanted to have sex with a communist until today. I don't know what's wrong with me, but dadgummit, Kim Jong-un, your daughter's kind of hot. I'm going to be honest. Kind of. I mean, she's an evil dictator. Yeah, it's weird. I mentioned she drives a tank. I think she's like 18 though, which makes me kind of feel really, really pervy, but still. I think she's cute as hell. Yeah, she's taking over the country, so I don't think her dad's gonna let me bring her to America and give her freedom. You can come visit if you want, sir. I'm sure Trump would love to see you. Supermicro co-founder arrested in an alleged $2.5 billion NVIDIA chip smuggling scheme. No, I can't say all that. It's probably I just talked craziness. $2.5 billion chip deal. He was trying to smuggle to China, and he got caught by our government. Our government's like, no, that's not okay. So he got charged. He's in big, big trouble. So I was kind of wondering about that the other day. There was a story I shared about some NVIDIA chips were being sold to ByteDance, and I want to say they were in Malaysia or something like that. And I'm like, how are they getting away with that? Well, anyway, at least this kind of crap's being stopped. That was kind of a small purchase. This is huge. So, yeah, that's a move in the right direction. Just some fun stuff. NASA may shrink Boeing's moon mission role. Apparently, the Artemis thing on top, thing that's supposed to land on the moon, that is still going to be Boeing, but their SLS, their space launch system, sucks balls, and they're not going to use it. They're going to go with SpaceX. I think they're going to do some sort of, rather than trying to get it straight to the moon with Boeing's technology, because they're probably so far behind schedule, that they're like, here's what you guys are going to do. You're going to put it in low Earth orbit, because you've done that already. Then SpaceX is going to dock with it in space, and then they're going to fly it to the moon. It's like, damn, that's kind of cool. So, whatever. I mean, Apollo, supposedly, if you believe in it, they had to flip the thing around. They actually had to push the capsule out, flip it around, and then redock it because of how it got out of orbit versus how it needed to end up in the lunar orbit. So, yeah, they're taking some of Boeing's fun away. NASA Curiosity rover found evidence of underground water on Mars. Again, a lot of discussions how Mars has just always been an uninhabited, or well, that it used to have lots of water and something happened. Well, we have an asteroid belt. We have that Sarah or whatever that planet that's left is called. Something happened. Mars got the rumored name of being the planet of war for a reason. And really, if you look at the history of our solar system, which when we talk disclosure, I think that's one of the things that we're going to find out about. A lot more so than whether or not there's aliens. Aliens is going to be a weird kind of misnomer or a strange word that we've been using that is going to need better definitions, frankly. And I know from the religious standpoints out there, a lot of people are going to have a tricky time with some of this because maybe what we've been told isn't necessarily fully accurate. And I still hear a lot of people pushing some of what we've been told. Again, I'm not going to put words in your mind or anything. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah, a lot of people are wondering what's going on with the disclosure movement from the standpoint of the government. They've obviously been told to tell us all the stuff they know about aliens, UFOs, all that good stuff. And they've literally already taken the two domain names, aliens.gov and alien.gov. Now, to give some credence to this, like for anybody that's like, damn, we should have got that. Why don't we do that? Because you can't get .gov domains, period, if you're not a government agency. Like if you're just Dan and you want to try to get something cool that eventually the government's going to use, then you buy that and make the government buy it from you. Yeah, no, you're not going to be able to register a .gov. I'm pretty sure you can't. So yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. And finally, NASA's Hubble telescope. They finally got some of the information back from the last shutdown. Right, wrong, and different, however you feel about it. So many of you guys aren't going to give a crap about this. So many of you have already made up your minds about what it is. Yeah, whatever the case is, this is still cool. Comet K1, whose full name is C-2025 K1 Atlas, or 3I Atlas, as was named by Ivy Loeb. Now, K2025 K1 is actually the name of it. That said, they did finally get some pictures of it from Hubble, and this is it. It broke into 4 pieces, they say, and this was actually when it, I think, reached the closest point to the sun. And a lot of people, because Ivy was saying, it wasn't doing what it's supposed to, and it was reverse jetting, and it was doing all this crazy shit. And like, comets break up, that's what happens. Well, it did, supposedly. Again, we didn't have any information. Coincidental. Maybe Harvard, a.k.a. Islamic or Israeli Ivy Loeb, who used to work in intelligence in Israel, maybe he took it upon himself to take advantage of that and push some fun stories. That's entirely possible. But again, this is finally some pictures. And this is from, I think, November-ish? Somewhere around there. Somewhere in that vicinity. There it is, November 8th to November 10th. And they were just training it on it, they said. And again, what's they actually literally saw it break. Like, they're like, what is that never happens. And by the way, we have another cool comet that's going to be probably destroyed by the sun. I don't know exactly when. It's like soon, like really within a week or 2 or 3. I mean, it's like really close. And it's going to come super close to the sun. In fact, many say it's going to hit the sun. Every time I've ever seen it, I've seen a lot of comets hit the sun. Lots of images of it, lots. I've been following shit like this forever. I love this stuff. Every time anything hits the sun, it creates a coronal mass ejection where it hit, always. So there's something fun about it. A lot of people think the sun's a portal. Anyway, I don't want to get off into woo land, but yeah, fun, crazy stuff. Damn, I still went that long. Craziness. Whatever. I love you guys. We got a lot going on. I got an amazing music show today. We are featuring Boston because the second lead singer died, meaning the replacement of the first lead singer that died already. Then they replaced him with a second lead singer, and that lead singer died. So anyway, we're doing Boston anyway because I love Boston. It's one of my favorite bands. And 2, got Toto. We're doing a 4 for Friday. 3, Moody Blues. And 4, ELO. Right? Pretty good, I think. And it's all a lot of harmonies, a lot of bitchin' ass music. I think you're going to have a good time. And I kind of spread them out too. So it's not like one band, then another band, then another band. I got the mixture of songs in 4 blocks. So it's going to be spread out nicely. And I think you guys are going to love this show. So please join me. That's live Fridays, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. I start the show live. If not, watch it later when you're at the gym or something. There's always pretty good music in there, and we usually have a pretty good time. But the chat's wonderful. We've got some really amazing people in chat. And I've actually managed to meet some of these people, and again, it's cool. And so you might want to be a part of that circle. We've got amazing people. I may not be as sophisticated as some people out there that have their own like TV platforms and stuff that make you pay all this money so you can get behind the firewall. On the free side of life, we have a very cool group of people that if you want to hang out with, you will be amazed at how much fun you have. This is On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Of course, where we go one, we go all. I feel like I should say that again, but I'm not going to. It is Dan RadioStyle.